Okay, let's go step by step and start by creating a FlexConnect group. So I have my two access points. Of course, I have one AP which is local and the other one is in a FlexConnect mode. So my group is going to contain one AP, but let's start creating a group anyway. So you go here, wireless, FlexConnect groups, and you create a new group. Give it a name, whatever name makes sense for your local area where you want to have those APs together. Click apply, and your group is created. Now you click the group, and this is where things become interesting. You have a few tabs that you can configure. And you see you have AP local authentication, and you have AAA value. Okay, that's one thing. Let's go straight to this last tab where we have WLAN to VLAN mapping. This is not very handy because the WLAN is called by its index, which is the SSID index number. It doesn't show you the name on 8.0. So if you don't remember which SSID has what index, you need to go to the WLAN tab first and check which SSID you want to manage for a specific WLAN to VLAN mapping on the FlexConnect APs. All right, so go there, check the SSID ID number, and then you can go back to wireless, to your FlexConnect group, in your group, and here you can take care of having a specific mapping for the entire group. So you can say, for example, test 1, which is my WLAN ID 1, for the entire group of access points, I want to assign every user going through access points belonging to that group to VLAN, say, whatever value you decide to set for that local branch, branch 1, branch 2. For example, let's say I want to send everybody to VLAN 19. So what I'm saying here is that everybody connecting to that SSID number 1, which is test 1, and going through an access point that belongs to this Flex group is going to be sent by default to VLAN 19 instead of, remember, VLAN 31, which is the configuration globally set for the SSID on the controller. This, of course, means that in my group, I need to have access points, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So you go back to General and you click Add Access Points. If you want to add access points that are not on the controller yet, you can add their MAC address there already, and when they will join the controller, they will be added to the group. If your access points are already on the controller, which is my case for one of my access points, I can just check that box, select APs from the controller, and the FlexConnect APs present on the controller are going to show. And you see here, I tell you there is only the FlexConnect APs that show. The local mode APs do not show because they do not belong to any FlexConnect group. Okay, so let me add my AP. Now that AP belongs to that group. Therefore, when devices are going to use SSIDs on that AP, because the AP belongs to the group, it will read the group values. But wait, I have a conflict now, right? Because before I said that my VLAN mapping should be 25. So how does that play? Well, that's the thing. There is the hierarchy of VLAN association. Before I could set make AP specific, and now I can also go remove AP specific. And if I do this, look what happens. My setting now turns to group specific. And you see I get VLAN 19. So there is this hierarchy where when you don't define anything, the SSID global values are applied. Then if you create a FlexConnect group and you put APs in that group, you can also assign a VLAN value for the group, and every AP belonging to that group will simply apply the values of the group. But you can also go even further and set a very specific value for that specific AP and override the group value. So it's a question of how fine you refine the configuration. No FlexConnect group, no AP specific, we apply the SSID values. You did a FlexConnect group, all right, we apply the FlexConnect group for the APs in that group. Of course, the others will apply the global value. And then if you want, you can also go at the AP level and override the group value. So you see, that's very flexible. In all cases, the more defined, the more refined, the more specific configuration wins all the time. So if you have AP and global settings, you apply the AP. If you have FlexGroup and the AP, you apply the AP settings. The more specific always wins. So there are some other options you can set at your FlexConnect group level. Central DHCP if you want to use local authentication but still use central DHCP, for example. There's also an ACL mapping, which is a more advanced feature by which you can set some specific SSID-based or VLAN-based access control lists that you will be applying to all the access points and all the traffic going through the access points. This is useful in many advanced cases where you want to filter traffic for the clients on these access points, but also in some cases where you can choose which traffic is locally switched and which traffic is centrally switched. So you can have some hybrid SSIDs where some traffic is going to be local, your printer, internet, and some traffic that you'll set in an access control list will be sent back to the corporate office, for example, some server access or something. But that's way beyond the CCNA level, so we won't care about that here. So let's go back to General and take care of the authentication.